2000 Hyundai Sonata V6 2.5 liter. Got the alternator out through this hole. Removed a bracket with a bunch of wiring on it. That seemed to do the trick. Right here is the bracket. It was just mounted on the back of the engine over here. Just used a 12mm nut or bolt. Was holding it in place, moved it out of the way, and I pushed all the wires out of the way here. Came right up through this hole. I'm now going to drop the new alternator down here, and then we'll continue to show you the procedure. As always, when you're doing an alternator, disconnect the negative battery. It's a 10mm nut. Just lefty-loosey, get that off. You can work safely without shorting anything. March 21st of 2000. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. VIN 8 is a V as in Victor for the engine. It's now down there in the area. It's a good time to put on the nut on the cable for the battery. Right here, and then plug in the electrical connector. It's a squeeze type connector. Let's see if I can get it right here. Just have to squeeze this right here. Squeeze that back end here, and then it should pull out. So we'll pop those back into place. Then we'll go down below to deal with the bottom bolt and nut. It's 12mm nut for me. Holding the alternator battery positive connection on there. Now this bolt in the back, take the knot off here. I think it was a 14mm nut, and take it off. And this is going to slide back, push it back, but then there's the, for me, there's a mount for the CV axle, and it runs into that mount. Now you pull it back far enough and you can lift this out and pull it out the rest of the way. It's probably, this piece in here is probably slotted. That's probably what's going on up there. We'll go and take a look now. Hopefully you can see it is slotted up there, so we'll put the bolt in the alternator and drop it into the slot. That bracket is slotted, so we'll put the bolt into the alternator and drop it in the slot. Here's another shot. Hopefully it's showing up okay with the slot. And I've got the bolt already through the alternator. We'll just drop it into that slot. And once it's dropped in there, we can go back up to the top and put the top bolt in the alternator. So I got the 12mm bolt back in. However, this bracket has two bolts over here. You can't see them. There are two 12mm bolts over here going into the block. I had to loosen them so I could get this bolt to go in the alternator. It wasn't quite going in straight because the bracket was off. So got this started. Got that started with the nut down there, and those two bolts are loose. So probably tighten up this bolt, tighten up the nut, and then tighten up the two bolts on the bracket last. And that should be it for putting the alternator back in. Used a 18mm wrench on the end here for this auto belt tensioner, and we'll show you that in a minute. Here's the cover that may or may not be on your alternator battery positive. Just kind of snaps into place in a couple of spots. Also put this back on. Kind of fell off when I was doing stuff. I'll put this back on. See how it works. Got my 17mm wrench. Put it on here, flat spots, and we're going to push down. That's how you're going to loosen the belt, so you can take it off and put it on the alternator back there. See, I've got it looped around right now. We'll just pull it down to the alternator and pull the tensioner. There we go. The belt is on. Again, you're just pushing down to release it. I think that's everything you need to do. Your alternator on your 2000 and other model years Hyundai Sonata V6 2.5 liter. Put the battery connection back on, tighten it up, and you're done.